Hey, how are you doing? In this video, I'm going to be talking about the Proverbs 31 man, not woman. And this is a real thing. And we're going to be going over it. But first, before we do that, I'm going to read something for you. And it's called Swoon, Part 1. Let's go. Let's find this. Okay. So if you're ready, I am. And I can't fit it in my mind. Getting to the start of the line, it goes beyond a lifetime. My mind's made to be merciful. They called it love. The first rule was to never make a mistake, but a broken heart won't rubber glue back like a porcelain plate. Why is it so vulnerable if it's so powerful? Awful, but also awesome. Susceptible to lies, immune to truth, and drunk on pride. How can hearts change and make a way in the wilderness? Perfectly pitch black forest I forage for my missing kisses. Rustling leaves seem to pull me deeper into the thrilling dark abyss of sin. There I am again, my mirror's only friend. My inner demons, a slicker villain, hiss in disastrous wishes, scaling off the jaded skin of bliss. Ick. It makes me sick to think of things I often call the wind. So yeah, I hope you like that. But that's my little intro. But now we're gonna talk about the Proverbs 31 man, which is a interesting thing because it comes in the book of Proverbs, which is one of the most famous books, and this part is one of the most famous chapters within this book. So the virtuous woman is what is virtually known about this chapter. But this chapter has a lot of interesting information. First of all, it wasn't really actually written by Solomon. It was written by King Lemuel. And when you read the first verse, it says, "The words of King Lemuel, the prophecy that his mother taught him." And it also speaks of humility in within that first opening line, because he's talking about his mother teaching him what he's actually writing to the masses, and he says it boldly and proudly. This is something interesting. So when he's being taught, the mother teaches him certain things that we also see within the man or within the masculine archetype that's being drawn within this chapter, because it speaks about the feminine, the perfect woman. And now it also speaks about this perfect man. So already he comes in, and then it's already kind of like subtle, like the way like you he comes in, he just comes. And in order for us to even know that there's a Proverbs 31 man and a woman, like it's a pair, it's us finding someone who's so subtle, someone who is actually very like low key within it. So maybe that's what it means. Maybe it shows us his personality in a way. But from what we learned from Lumio, we can also glean and say perhaps it's also on this Proverbs 31 man, because within this, it's a Proverbs 31 man within the whole chapter. It's going to speak of the 31 woman. So within this man, so we're expecting someone who's humble enough to be taught by the elders. And we're also expecting someone who will have those lessons. So it actually now says, give not thy strength unto women, nor thy ways to which destroy kings. So this is something Lumio is being taught by his mother. So we're assuming this is what the Proverbs 31 man is like. Because this is also where we know about the Proverbs 31 woman, right? So this is a man who does not give his strength to women, which means he's not drawn to lust. You can trust him. He's a faithful man. The Bible, Proverbs particularly, speaks about a faithful man. Who can find a faithful man? So he doesn't give his strength to women. And he's also a person who would not put, like, not, because there's a conflation that happens when someone says, I'm putting my family first, and then is actually putting himself first by using a woman as a shield. So there's also that stuff. But then this person does not do that. So he's also able to acknowledge people, listen to their advice, to internalize it, and he does not give his strength to women. And then further on it says, for it is not for kings to drink wine, for princes to get drunk. Another thing we know about him is, lest he be drunk and forget, and open the mouth of the dumb. Open thy mouth of the dumb in the cause of all such as are opposed. Open thy mouth and judge righteously, and plead the cause of the poor and needy. So first of all, we know that he doesn't drink because he has responsibilities. Because of those responsibilities, he has that mindset. So it's a different type of mindset because of this. This is the Proverbs 31 man. This is the same thing we're going to see when they're talking about a bishop and stuff. But this person also has the responsibility and the power to rescue what they say the poor and the needy. And it also shows his empathy. So he's a person who's able to do stuff like that. So that also has a lot of different ideas that just popped into my mind, because this thinking of the poor and needy, it's anyone in need. So this Proverbs 31 man would be someone who's like mentoring, someone who can like defend things and people, even animals, whatever nature, whatever cause. He's also someone who could volunteer. He's also someone who is probably a good sportsman, someone who's able to work well with others, someone who's hospitable, because he's thinking of the poor and the needy, thinking of other things people don't think about. People don't think about. So he's approachable, because you also see he doesn't drink, but then it says he's able to give drinks to other people who are in different situations. So it seems like he's able to converse with different people, poor and the needy, some of the people in different situations, some of the people he gives drinks, and he himself sees it all. So it's like painting a picture. So I hope you're seeing this picture of this Proverbs 31 man. That's right there, right? And then so after this, it goes on to talk about this woman again. And then here in verse 23, it says, her husband is known in the gates. Now we get another piece of information to piece again what this Proverbs 31 man is like. It says he's known at the gates and he sits among the elders of the land. So it's not about his age. We don't even know his age, but we know that he has the wisdom to be around people with aged wisdom, around sages. So this person has this power, capability, and awesome capacity to be in a place of power and authority. So we already saw, because he doesn't drink and he has those responsibilities. So this isn't a shocker for us at this moment, but this is good for us to know, right? Because now it echoes that he's with the elders. So something that we heard from the mother of Lumiel, we're also seeing this Proverbs 31 man listens to elders also who are around him. These elders will also be cool, like in the end. But then so it says that her husband known in the gates, he sits among the elders. And now we get more information, but then the information we get is in verse 29 about him, right? Yeah, because I don't want to miss anything. This is in 29. Many daughters have done virtuously, but you have exceeded them all. Now we get another crowning piece of information, because now we're hearing his voice. Finally hearing his voice. Because now he's saying, you have done virtuously. So now we see, so you've seen other daughters, in the sense that he's able to discern, he's able to know, he's able to also give affirmation. Imagine the way he's talking to her. Imagine the way that feels hearing that. So he's able to have compassion. He's able to affirm this woman. And this is a trait that he's showing. This is part of him. And then he's also showing that he seeks a certain type of excellence that he coins as wisdom. And then he also speaks, like he's expressive. So he speaks. So many daughters have done well. Favor is deceitful, beauty is vain, but a woman who fears the Lord shall be praised. So praise and appraise. This is where we get back to discernment, which is a great topic to talk about. But it is appraising. That is actually to discern, and to praise, to raise. Because this is what he does. Give her of the fruit of her hands, and let her own works praise her in the gates. This man, the Proverbs 31 man, is so in love and so righteous that he delights, upholds, and respects his woman around those elders at the gates, that he raises her up around those people. So this is the type of person that he is. From start to finish, the words of King Lumiel, until we get to give her the fruit of her hands. And these two now make a perfect pair. And there's more to this story of how they make a perfect pair, how their dynamic is actually formed within this chapter 31, written by a king. Because like he wrote it, it's a whole play. It's a whole play. When he wrote it, it's like masterful. So yes, so I hope that you saw something about this little known fact about the Proverbs 31 man, and be more like that, and also be more like the Proverbs 31 woman if you're a woman.